I'm Charlotte McLeod with the Investing News Network, and here today with me is Brien Lundin, editor of Gold Newsletter and host of the New Orleans Investment Conference. Thanks so much for joining me.
Great to be with you as always, Charlotte.
And we are here at your conference right now. Thanks so much for letting us come. Can you tell me a little bit briefly about the history and what goes into putting on a conference like this?
Sure. This conference is unique in the industry. It's the oldest investment conference in the world. It's the first of this plethora of investment conferences that we see out here these days. But it has a unique history in that it was started by Jim Blanchard in 1974. This was a few years after he had begun to try to get gold legalized in the United States. He was successful at that. And in 1974, they signed it into law. Gold was legal to own in the U.S., and he decided to have a conference to teach investors how to invest in gold. And that's how it started. The turnout was much larger than he thought, and it just grew and grew. And now we're in our 44th year and continuing the tradition that he began.
You have so many great speakers here this year. We're on day 2. Can you tell me one thing you've learned?
Oh, I've learned a lot. I've learned that a number of the people in the mining industry agree with me in a few names, a few specific stocks that we all like. And I've learned of some new ones that they're recommending that I didn't really follow yet. So that's kind of the beauty of this event. There's a lot of give and take, a lot of smart people in one place, not just the experts, not just the speakers, but the attendees, the investors themselves. Everybody sharing ideas, everybody going around from booth to booth talking to management teams and listening to some of the experts on more broader topics like economics, geopolitics, and the like from our stage. So a lot of my thoughts on the economy and the direction of the economy, the direction of the metals markets have been confirmed, and I've discovered a few new angles here and there.
We're hearing a lot of talk here about a potential stock market crash and maybe some scary things going on with the economy. In your view, is that what is going to happen?
Well, I think it's very likely to happen. I think for a number of technical reasons and fundamental. We're seeing the onset of a bear market in stocks. This doesn't have to be a catastrophic crash. It could be just letting some air out of an overinflated asset class. But one of the key points that I believe we need to take away from this is that in recent weeks we've seen some really steep drops in the U.S. stock market. And on those days, typically gold has posted very strong gains. So not only is the market looking at gold as a safe haven, but I think the market's perceiving that severe downturn or serious downturn in the stock market will lead the Fed to kind of take their foot off the gas on rate hikes, possibly even halt rate hikes, and that would be enormously bullish for gold.
You've spoken in the past about the inverse relationship between gold and the dollar. I'm sure that ties in as well.
It does, or it has, but one of the things we've seen as well is that gold seems to ignore the direction of the dollar. I mean, if you take the 3 asset classes, equities, the dollar, and gold, when the stock market, when equities have been down severely over the past few weeks and the dollar has been up, gold has also been up. If the dollar's been down on those downdraft days, gold has also been up. So far, the only combination that's really been negative for gold has been stocks up and the dollar up. But other than that, I think it's important that we realize that investors are looking for reasons to buy gold rather than looking for reasons to sell it. That's an important shift in sentiment for this market, and I think it's a shift toward a bullish bias for gold.
This time last year, you gave me a good short-term gold price prediction. Can you do the same now?
I don't know. Maybe. I hope so. Was that prediction correct?
It was correct.
Oh, okay. Well,
I can tell you what it was if you want.
Now you're putting the pressure on me.
Yeah.
So from where we are now to the end of the year, I think we're going to have a downturn. If we have a typical kind of seasonality, then we're going to have a downturn in the market toward middle of December. The Fed will have one more rate hike most likely, and gold should rebound off of that. So I would say we're probably going to be at the end of this year, if that's what you're looking at. I'd say probably right about where we are now, with a little bit of a dip beforehand and maybe a rise at the end. So maybe right about where we are, maybe 1240.
As we finish up, can you share what has been your best investment so far this year? Could be a metal or stock, however you want to take that.
By far, it's Great Bear Resources. We recommended that stock in late December of last year at 33 cents, and at one point we were up 10 times on that. And frankly, I still like that stock. We're still recommending it. I think it's a company that has the best shot, the only company that has a shot at the kind of large-scale, world-class, high-grade Red Lake deposit. It has the highest potential of any junior out there that I see right now.
That's all for me, unless there's any final thoughts you want to leave investors with.
Come to New Orleans next year for the New Orleans Investment Conference. That's the best investment advice I think I could give.
Thank you so much. Once again, I'm Charlotte McLeod with the Investing News Network, and this is Brien Lundin.